You know what? The friendships that we make here, they last a lifetime.
They do.
John Wayne would say, I can't call you a pilgrim anymore, Pilgrim.
That's right, brother.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Deer fear us.
Watch the video on that one, folks. You'll be entertained.
Tonight's my last night of hunting, and I'm hoping to save the big one for last.
First we had to wake him up, though. First we had to wake him up.
Hi folks, welcome to this week's episode of Huntsman's Creed TV. Got another awesome show for you this week. You can see in the background, the lodge is coming along. Should be done in a couple months.
Yes, sir. By spring.
Yep.
Yeah, and on this week's episode, we had Mike all the way in from California. He flew in to hunt with us.
Yep.
And then we had Keith and Sarah come up from Tennessee. And then we had Ed and Terry come in from Virginia, all to hunt whitetail deer. The opening week of gun season here on the foundation property.
Those guys, they hit it perfect because
did.
I was here all the week before they got here and the deer were rutting. How many deer me and you see sitting out there? Just didn't see the right one, but we seen a ton of deer. They were on their feet moving, chasing.
Yeah, boy.
So those guys hit it perfect getting here. First morning of gun season, we got our guys up. It was a cold morning, got them outside, transferred into their chairs and out to our new blinds.
Yeah, boy. Keith, he got out the very first morning. He was actually hunting in the back field back here in one of our brand new blinds we just set. And I don't know, it was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. He had one of the oldest deer we got on around here come out. And he's actually got 4 on one side and just a big dagger on the other.
Slingshot?
Yeah,
That's him?
That's him.
He showed up, huh?
He showed up, and I've not seen him but maybe 2 or 3 times in daylight.
On the way to the tree stand and on October the 14th, 2013, as I was climbing up into it around 7 o'clock, I started to get over in the stand. My right leg, the weight of my right leg, got on the stand and the stand dumped me, and I didn't really know what happened in time and realized that the top strap had broke, a ratchet strap. I fell 25 foot. I landed flat on my back and bounced down the hill probably a good 10, 12 foot. Didn't really know what was going on at the time. As I started feeling around, checking, make sure nothing was broke, I realized that I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel anything from mid-chest down. It ended up severing my spinal cord and breaking my T7 vertebrae. And then I ended up at Shepherd Center and was there for 6 months total. A great place. They taught me how to live life again in the chair and just do everything. Learn how to prepare meals, to just from the smallest thing, brushing your teeth, up to the biggest thing, getting back in the woods. Didn't have much of a rack, had probably a 16-inch spike on one side and the 4 points on the other side. It was the first morning and it was a huge deer, biggest body deer I've ever seen in the woods. A big old pot belly on it. And so we debated back and forth, and of course it stayed in front of us for 30 minutes and we decided not to take it. At this point, probably would have taken it had I known it was 7.5 to 8.5 years old.
Huntsman's Creed TV is proudly brought to you by the Huntsman's Foundation, inspiring and enabling disabled veterans and children to get into the great outdoors. Carlson's Choke Tubes, the shooter's choice. Tracks for Vets, helping veterans get back on life's track. Cook's Fatal Attraction Deer Scent, 100% pure, fresh whitetail scents. And Ultimate Whitetail Mineral and Flavored Attractant, healthier deer, larger racks. This segment of Huntsman's Creed TV is brought to you by Ultimate Whitetail Mineral and Attractants, healthier deer, larger racks.
I
I watch all the hunting shows on TV. I've messaged them all and sent messages to them and emails and texts. And I saw Huntsman tree one morning and watched it, and I said, "Them's two pretty good old boys, what they do." So I messaged them and I told them, I said that I wanted to commend them and thank them for all the work they were doing for the veterans, disabled veterans, disabled Americans, special needs children, and said that my bucket list was to kill one more good buck. And I figured it would be like all the rest of the hunting shows, never get any response. It wasn't 20 minutes. Bubba messaged me back and he said, "We can make your bucket list happen."
Terry, he's one of them. He likes to cut up and go on, and
He's like us.
he's just like
Fit
us.
right in.
Yeah, but like I said, we put him in the blind right back here, and he had one of the biggest deers we had on the property. Walked right by him, 80, 90 yards, and I don't know what he come up with, but evidently it must have been a cluster, him trying to get on him.
Watch the video on that one, folks. You'll be entertained.
We had to move chairs, we had to move cameras, we had to move rifles, they had to move me around in that chair, and that buck never did spook.
First, we had to wake him up, though.
I was praying, so I was in deep prayer.
He was praying he didn't stay asleep is what he was praying.
It was not a miss the first day. It was just a malfunction in equipment.
Back in 2001, some friends and I were snowboarding up in Big Bear, California. The resort we were actually supposed to snowboard at had sold out. So we found a hill covered in snow and built a big jump off of a big tree stump. I was doing some backflips off of it, and one backflip I did, that speed checked right before I had hit the jump, a little too late, which caused me not to complete the backflip, and I did a half rotation, came down on the back of my neck, and basically compressed my head down into my chest, which caused me to break my cervical spine at a C5 and 6, which left me a quadriplegic. At the time, I couldn't move anything. I could just basically move my head back and forth like this, and I could shrug my shoulders a tiny bit. Had me medevaced out to Loma Linda, a big hospital out in that area. They did all kinds of surgeries, and I spent a few weeks there with collapsed lungs, and they put a feeding tube in me because they didn't think I'd be able to eat the rest of my life and on my own, and they trached me and because I couldn't breathe on my own, and the whole thing. I was discharged. I did 6 months of outpatient therapy, and then at the time I was in college, and it happened to be that the college I was going to, Cal State Northridge, had a center for disabled people. Spent a lot of time in there kind of rehabbing myself, working out all the time. I never regained use of my hands. I can use them better now, but I can move my arms around pretty well, push a manual wheelchair now. I can breathe on my own, obviously, now, and eat on my own. I had all the tubes removed, so considering where I started from immediately after injury to where I am now, I'd say I've done pretty well. And then I'm out here hunting alone says a little something, I guess. So, yeah, that's pretty much the story.
And you know, Mike, he's seen a lot of deer, but he just wasn't seeing the shooters that he was wanting to shoot. Kind of like you.
I know the feeling.
Yeah,
Mike, deer fear us.
yeah.
You know?
See a lot of deer, just not the right ones.
That's right.
Yep.
They know better.
That's right.
I can get nothing done.
Parker, come on.
Keep it up. You're going to get a fresh one.
Park.
Hi, folks. Welcome
Come on.
to this week's episode of Huntsman's Creed TV. Another awesome episode for you. Got some
Park.
turkey hunting.
Hold on, Dad. I'm watching Huntsman's Creed TV.
Guys, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram.
This segment brought to you by Cook's Fatal Attraction Deer Scent. 100% pure, fresh whitetail deer scents.
Sunday afternoon, they all got out, got back in their chairs, and we got them out in the shooting houses. And Keith, they went right back to the same shooting house they'd hunted on Saturday and Sunday morning both.
We were sitting there and getting kind of restless, and it was a little warm that evening, windy, and we were thinking it would be last light before we'd see anything, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I start seeing horns come out of the woods, and he was a little antsy. I think he was probably just checking for does, and he came out and worked the scrape, and of course my heart rate got up and realized he was a shooter. He was right at 100, a little over 100 yards. He worked the scrape, and when he got sideways, I had the scope on him and was able to make a good shot.
Yeah, I could take him right there. Whatever you want to. I'm going to. Oh yeah, he's hit. That's awesome. Got him. Got one. I think it's a 7 or 8. It's a good high rack deer. I'm pumped up. Good job, buddy.
Now, Sarah, she actually hunted with him opening day, all day, but she was in camp, cooking and doing a little everything up in camp.
That was nice having her here.
It was, yeah. So 4 o'clock that afternoon, like I said, he shot him a big buck. Me and Sarah got on the side by side, and Blake, he was with us. We all went back there and recovered his deer. It was a good one.
It had to be fun.
It was.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. That's my dream deer right there. It's a big old ape one. I'm tickled death with it. It's kind of warm, wind blowing hard. Didn't think we'd see much till right at dark. Good Lord blessed us, and looked up and saw horns coming out of the woods. And it happened to be a good ape pointer, good mature deer. Couldn't be more happy with him. From bottom of my heart to Huntsman's Creed and Foundation, it's definitely a good thing that y'all are doing.
Spent my time in Europe. I was all over Europe. We were stationed in the MP unit and destroyed old ammunition and inspected ammunition and did all kinds of stupid stuff. Took my basics at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Went from there to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and took jump school. Left Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and went to Redstone Arsenal. And then I went to Europe, spent 14 months in Europe, and got out with a honorable under medical terms after I blowed my knee and ankle out. I heard about Eddie, and then we met each other. I can't remember if it was Sportsman or the club or the tea room, but it was one of the three a long time ago. And we've been friends ever since.
I went into service in 1970 to 72. I was in the Army. I was what was known as a 63 Foxtrot. I was helicopter and heavy equipment evacuation specialist. Made it up to the rank as sergeant. I served in some ragged places, some I don't even want to talk about. And I got home November of 72, and I got out in December 21st of 72. I've been blessed to be alive as long as I have. I thank God for keeping me that way. And like Terry said, we met back in our wilder days. After that, the good Lord got a hold of both of us, and I guess we've been kind of acquaintances for a long time. And we got back together here several years ago, and Terry just was always somebody special to me.
So you know, after Terry actually let that big deer get by him, Sunday afternoon, he had another decent deer come out on him.
He wasn't letting that one walk.
He wasn't letting that one go. Yeah, Keith shot his at 4 o'clock, and out on Terry's was a little after 5, I guess.
Is that a read? Yep. Take your time. That's him. That's him. Put it to him right there.
When I squeezed the trigger, no tracking job, no worrying about him. He went about 2 feet straight down.
Huntsman's Cree TV is proudly brought to you by the Huntsman's Foundation, inspiring and enabling disabled Americans to get into the great outdoors. Carlson's Choke Tubes, the shooter's choice. Tracks for Vets, helping veterans get back on life's track. Cook's Fatal Attraction Deer Scent, 100% pure, fresh whitetail scents. And Ultimate Whitetail Mineral and Flavored Attractant. Healthier deer, larger racks. This segment of the Huntsman's Cree TV is brought to you by Sword Sights and Tree Limb Quivers.
As John Wayne would say, I can't call you a pilgrim anymore, Pilgrim.
That's right, brother. You're gonna have to call me Killer.
Yeah, you got it.
Back here.
Looky here, Nubby.
Yeah, they can hang a ring on them. I'll count them.
What do you think, John Wayne?
Yeah,
Well,
brother.
we're not going to go as far as to lie about it, but that sure is one handsome deer. I just want to say thank you guys for what it means for Terry, what it meant for me to be able to bring you. And look, guys, if you got a friend that's like Terry and he wants to do something for the last time, make it happen. You'll never be sorry, especially with these guys.
I just hope it ain't the last time.
Mike, he'd seen a lot of deer all week, just not the right one. Keith and Sarah actually stayed because they wanted to see him get a deer. I mean,
they were there for emotional support.
They'd been here all week with him. And Ed and Terry had actually left because they had to get back to Virginia. But like I said, very last afternoon.
Saw a lot of doe and some small bucks first 2 days of hunting. Then the next 2 days, we bounced around different spots looking for bigger bucks. And as of yet, I've not seen any real big bucks. I know they're here, people are seeing them, but so far I haven't seen a big one yet. So tonight's my last night of hunting, and I'm hoping to save the big one for last.
Did you hit him? Meh. Meh.
Got him. All right, let me put this on. Whew.
Just like Keith, 4 o'clock. We hear him shoot. And me and Keith and Sarah was actually sitting on the sidewalk up here.
Yep.
And when we heard him shoot, Sarah, she was excited. And she almost jumped over the Ranger when she come out of her chair.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. So we all got on the Ranger, and Keith got in his chair, and we went back there and helped him recover his deer. It was awesome. I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. First Kentucky buck, first whitetail buck. I'm real happy. Thanks, you guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
You boy.
I appreciate it. Thanks for all the hard work. Because I know you put a lot of hard work into this hunt.
Had to bring it down to the last day.
I know.
Yeah.
We
the last few minutes.
Last few minutes, yeah. We worked hard for this buck.
Yeah.
You know, the friendships that we make here, they last a lifetime.
They do. People that's never even met. I mean, you bring somebody all the way from California or Virginia or Tennessee,
Yeah.
and bring them to camp. I mean, it's just like one big family.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
people
what it's all
from
about.
Tennessee staying to see if, you know, what might kill.
Yeah,
That's
what Mike
awesome.
killed, yep. From all of us here at the Huntsman's Foundation, we'd like to congratulate all the guys on their bucks.
Keith, Terry, and Mike.
Yes, sir. They all killed awesome deer. And like I said, Sarah was here helping us, Keith's wife.
Yep.
And Terry had his best friend here, Ed, AKA John Wayne.
As John Wayne would say, I can't call you a pilgrim anymore, pilgrim.
That's right, brother. You're gonna have to call me Killer.
Yeah.
Next week's show, we got my turkey.
Yes, sir.
Your turkey and Zach.
Yes, sir.
We had Zach come in from New York.
Yes, sir. Old pig pen.
Old pig pen.
First turkey he's ever shot.
You ain't gonna want to miss that. He got scope eyed and everything.
Yes, sir.
Even though he denies it to this day.
Yep, it happened.
It happened. He got scope eyed.
We got it. Until next week.
See ya.
Closed captioning provided by the Huntsman's Foundation, turning your donations into adventures for disabled Americans, one at a time.
Where am I going with this?
Now who's the one that's always messing up?
From all of us here at the Huntsman's All right, hold on. Old Stinky.